Hey YouTube, so after the increase to jumpluff to the #1 ranked Pokemon in the Great League and with tinkaton coming out everywhere, I said like Corviknight with its typing alone should be meta. And again, I thought it was overrated before. I think it's still pretty high now, and honestly, I do not like using this Pokemon. I don't know what it is. I think part of it is like the damage of let me just check. Yeah, I think it's like the damage of Sand Attack compared to something like Lapras with Psywave. So just put in perspective, for Sand Attack is a fast charging ish move, 4 energy per turn, but only 2 damage. And then you get something like Lapras, which I'm using on this team, 4 energy but 3 damage, and both non-stab, right? Non-same type attack bonus. So Psywave is just a better move. So you have like a slower hitting move, and then you have 2 moves in Iron Head and Sky Attack. Now both get stab, but both are still just like not great moves. You have, you know what? Well, the only problem is like 55 for 102 is actually not bad. 50 for 84 on Iron Head is not good. So you're always throwing Sky Attack if you can. But still, like 102 damage is not amazing. But the stat product is, or stat distribution, whatever you want to call it, is great. The typing is fantastic. This team is double weak to Electric, which I ran into a bunch of Morpekos, so I probably would not use the same team again. Like, again, the oldest school team was Swampert, Skarmory. You can just update it and make it Corviknight Gastrodon with the save swap. That's how I would adjust the team. So let's take a look at the battles to see how it plays. So Claydol, they get into Credilli, and this is truly one of the only reasons I'm running Primeape is because I knew this thing was everywhere. It's been everywhere for a while now. I didn't even shield this because I assumed half the time they do Rock Tomb. They did not do Rock Tomb there. They actually did hit me. So gonna get to close combat. They do shield, but I will get to one more because they're not gonna bullet see me down before I do. So I'll take switch with shield, or they're gonna go down 2 shields and take me out, which is fine. So they go down 2 shields. At this point, obviously I have to come back in here because Lapras takes super effective to both moves. So I'll take the neutral Rock Tomb and they will lower my attack. I also do have Iron Head, which is super effective. So this will one-shot because they are rock, which is weak to steel. So goodbye. And I instant swap blindly. And it's a Morpeko. Oh yeah, I was like, oh yeah, that's true. Morpeko is a real tough answer to these. Obviously, Primeape would have a good matchup overall. They eventually come in Claydol. I'm running Skull Bash. I'm running the Shadow and I'm running Skull Bash. Why? I used the non-Shadow first with Sparkling Aria and Ice Beam. And I just found like, I understand Lapras is more defensive heavy Pokemon. I just felt like it was kind of like underwhelming a bit. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to use my Shadow Lapras. And on the Shadow Lapras was Skull Bash already, and I just did not want to TM it away. So there's no like unique or like smart reason I'm using Skull Bash outside of I just did not want to TM it off my, because I already had to TM Psywave and Sparkling Aria on it. So I was like, that's enough to TM Roulette. Okay, so got into Lapras here. They eventually come into Annihilape, but Annihilape is taking super effective from the Psywaves, and the Sparkling Aria does add up, so I can easily shield this and flip switch down a shield, but so be it. Although flipping switch for what? Because it's not like Primeape has a good matchup against Drifblim anyways. But I think they let it go, which is actually great for me. I think I come back and just basically sacrifice Corviknight and then try and run with Primeape. Primeape down shields is not in a good situation to start with, but I also assume like, you know, if they have a flyer type on the front, they have something that may be weak to like, it's gonna be like a grounder, something that you can deal with. You don't really need steals with this, but you need like darks and stuff. So I thought like maybe a fighter can be okay against it. But unfortunately for me, you cannot leave Primeape so down shields here. So I got both shields from them, but with 4 Incinerates there, this thing has multiple moves, so there's no point of even shielding. I'm going to get one shot with the Thunder Punches. Anyways. So I remember this matchup, and I kind of made a mistake in the ending here, because Sand Attack is super effective. And then I was like, I'm going to catch a flamethrower because they're going to throw a flamethrower, which is neutral, and I do catch it. So that's fine. But now I take it super effective here. And then I'm like, you know what? Sand attack was super effective. And so is Iron Head's actually neutral because they're half rock, half steel. So that would actually neutralize it out. So I'm like, oh, that's actually probably not the smartest idea. But anyways, bank that. Come in here, Psy Wave, Sparkling Aria. Again, just the Shadow Lapras putting on pressure while being bulky enough to like live a bunch there. So come back in with Corviknight. I know Sludge Bomb and Frenzy Plant are both double resisted, I think. So I will gladly just take these charge moves and come up with a bit of energy here. I have Primeape and now Corviknight with some Iron Heads for... Yeah, I'm going to instant swap here. And they have a Razor Leafer, which again, Primeape is not going to be able to handle this because the raw damage on Primeape just does too much here. So here comes the second Rage Fist. I assume they're going to shield because they're not going to want to even get a couple of Karate Chops on this Bastiodon. But I do take it low enough, and I have 100 energy, so I'm like, okay, let's just throw this. And I'm like, you know what? I actually, between the Sand Attacks and Iron Head, probably can still take out this Bastiodon. So here comes my first Iron Head. Neutral. Sand Attacks really adding up here. Now putting this in the red. Sand Attack, double super effective actually on the Steel and Rock. So super effective on both, which is why those Sand Attacks are really adding up and allow me to win that matchup. Okay, Drapion. So this is like one of the things I hate. Like, so Drapion, Poison is resisted and you're doing super effective with Sand Attack. But I'm going to shield because Crunch is going to do like 70%. Maybe not 70, but it does a ton of damage. And the reason I always shield up the first one, people will probably be wondering, like, why did you shield the first one if it has a chance to lower your defense? Don't you want to shield up the second one? The problem with going against this Pokemon, and it's similar to Morpeko with the Aura Wheel on the Jumpluff matchup, is that if they land the first one, it's way easier to bait on the second one. So if they land Crunch and take me to like the yellow, it's way easier for them just to bait an Aqua Tail the second time around. And it's the same thing with the Morpeko Jumpluff matchup. If you land the Aura Wheel on your first one, it hits neutral against Jumpluff, you can more easily bait the Psychic Fangs the second time around. So that's why I shielded up the Crunch the first time. But here we have a Superior and Corviknight. And again, this is Corviknight's strength, right? You deal with a lot of the typings in the meta. You are double resisting grass because you are steel and flying. You double resist grass. I think I have all the typings open here. You double resist poison. You double resist bug. And then you single resist steel, psychic, normal, ground, flying, fairy, and dragon. Like, it's fantastic. And you only have 2 weaknesses, fire and electric. And there's a couple electric, like Morpeko and stuff. But fire, there's not a lot of fire yet. Just because there's so much ground and water, right? So, again, on its typing alone, I agree that this thing is very, very, very strong. But it just still feels underwhelming. Or like maybe it's overranked. Maybe I can see this being like I would probably rank this as like a top 30 Pokemon, but I would probably rank it at like the 25-30 range as opposed to where it's number 12 ranked now. Again, I truly think it's just getting so high just based on its typing. And it has a good stat like distribution there, but lower damage on the Sand Attack. Sky Attack's okay. 14 to get to. It's okay. There goes a Morpeko here. Claydol comes back in. I assume I'll come in with Corviknight. They will have Rock Tomb. And I eventually throw a move and they catch on their own Corviknight. Let's see if I just try and take this out here. Yeah, stay in this matchup. I need to get a little bit of energy on Lapras because I need to be able to throw some Sparkling Arias at Claydol. So take it low enough, but not low enough before they chip me here, which is not great. You don't like this chip. But, you know, puts me close to Sparkling Aria range. I will have to shield this. Rock Tomb will lower my attack. But if I can get to a couple here, and there's just like the speed of Lapras, right? 12 and 11 to a hard-hitting move. And a hard-hitting move that doesn't even have the shadow. Like, if you add the shadow, you're probably looking at like 2.3 plus damage per energy here. I know the non-shadows rank better, but yeah, 145 energy, 115.2 damage, 2.56 damage per energy. Love to see it. You give up the bulk, obviously, but you still got some bulk, right? Your Lapras. Living that and getting to another move there. There's your Jumpluff. I don't have an amazing answer for... This is why you're seeing me, like, stall. I'll let you get into Primeape, yeah. I just don't have an amazing answer for Drapion. Primeape is decent because Crunch is resisted, so they can only go Aqua Tail, but it only takes 2 Aqua Tails to take me out. So yeah, I'm going to CMP on this one, knowing that I could take it out here. Getting to the close combat. I'm only going to get to one move, and I figured that a resisted close combat still does more than a non-stab Rage Fist, so that is why I'm throwing it on the Jumpluff. Chip, get the Corviknight back on this. We'll see what's in the back. And I'm screwed. What's in the back is a 2-shielded Morpeko against my Corviknight and Lapras. So yes, Gastrodon, like I said at the beginning of the video, would be better to use. There's no way I'm getting out of this matchup now. That's rough. Rough. Sounded like a dog there. Okay. Sorry, I'm just laughing at the comments on my video. I've had a lot of people recently, and again, all YouTube GBL players get this. When someone uses a team and they're like, this team is garbage. Yeah, so this person says, what an absolute horrid team. And even like if you watch the video, I even say like, here are the weaknesses of this team. I probably would not use the team in its form because of the heroes like Guzzlord causes you a lot of problems, stuff like this, right? So I just laugh at that. And one of the other comments was like, really poor play in some games. We believe in you to do better. Yeah, sure. It's just funny. I don't actually mind these comments. I just find them funny. But yeah. Some people give me comments on like who else to interview. Again, like I can try to reach out to some of these people, but like someone says Caleb and his castle, who is a member. Hello, says Caleb and his kitties. Again, I don't think I've almost ever talked. I talked to Caleb, like I said like hi when he's like at an event, and I went up to him. And then yeah, like Yonkis and Trainer Club. Again, I don't talk to either of those guys. Trainer Club probably wouldn't even know who I am. Yonkis knows who I am. Jamie Finn, potentially. Yes, I'll see. I'll see how Home Slice and Daxi go. And then when I can like point to these two like other content creators, maybe it's a little easier to be like, hey, this is what I'm doing. Here's an example. Are you interested? So yeah, like I said, I'm shooting with Daxi on Sunday. But I probably am going to hold off until like the following week to post it, just because of the schedule. And the schedule is because next week we have Great League and Great League Remix, which are 2 leagues that people will want to play and look for content. Whereas the May 6th to 13th, we have Ultra League and Great League Remix. So no one's going to play Ultra League. Great League Remixes, people will play, but it's on the second week now. So it's easier to fill like an episode there. And then the following week is Match League and Retro Cup, so I want one there. So if everything goes well with these with these, I'll have my first one on like May 6th to 13th with Daxi, and like my second one with Home Slice on May 13th to 20th. Also, I am 100%, this is just Dan talk at this point. I am 100%, I'm calling it now, will get screwed for the release of information for the next season of Pokemon Go. The season ends on June 3rd, which is a Tuesday. They don't really release news on weekends, so that takes out the 31st and 1st, and they're not going to release the news on the day before, on the 2nd, because that's too late. So they will release the news either on the 28th, Wednesday, 29th, Thursday, or Friday the 30th. I will be heading on a train to Toronto on the 28th, and I will be at a conference on the 29th and 30th, arriving back home late at like 9 p.m. So the news is going to drop one of those 3 days, and I will not be able to be in my house. That being said, and like I won't be able to like bring my film stuff. So what I think I'm going to do is I'd have to still bring my computer. I can maybe bring my computer, see if it fits. I don't know. I got to try and figure it out because I know they're going to release the news during that time and I'm going to be in Toronto. But like I can't, like I won't be able to bring my stand. I don't care about that, but I shoot off my phone so I can still use my phone. I've got a like portable microphone that I can use. But it's just that I have to bring my computer, and I probably wouldn't do that on a work trip because I've already got my other work computer, but I don't really want to shoot off my work computer because that seems sketchy. Anyways, that's a future damn problem, but one that's coming up in a month. I can't believe it's almost the end of April already. How many more battles? 4 minutes. Ugh. Okay, let's go back to the battles. I should use, this. So I saw a submission. No, we're not going back to battles. I saw a submission for Tinkaton, so I'll probably showcase that tomorrow. Let me just check my submissions. So I definitely saw one submission from Jared, who is using Tinkaton in the 2500s. Let me just open up your link to make sure it works, and it does. So I'll probably do that for tomorrow. And it has Lapras on it too, so that it was Skull Bash, so that actually helps me with the editing, putting this together, so that is useful. Where was I going with this? Oh yeah, Pokemon that I think are going to be useful. So like I said, I tried Corviknight here. Tinkaton is, I think, going to be overrated, but I'll check the gameplay in the Open Great League here. Jumpluff, I think maybe people will start hunting Jumpluff because it's the #1 ranked Pokemon now. I'm trying to think like what Pokemon, because we're at the point where I need to like probably start grinding a bit here. So I need to find a team that I think I can grind with. And to do that, I need to find a couple Pokemon that I think can beat the main meta. Part of me thinks I should go back to Sableye. Maybe even Malamar. Like, I have not seen the Ghost lately. I mean, I saw Drifblim a couple times here. Because I just did Corviknight on this league turnover this week. And I did not see many Malamar, Corsola, Dusclops, Dusknoir. I saw a few Corviknights, so I think people are also just testing it out because of the way the meta is shaping up. It's weird. I haven't seen a few of these Pokemon. Pangoro? Pangoro's going to get killed by Jumpluff, though. It's a really nice answer to some of these Pokemon, though. Maybe I could try Pangoro, because I do have a Great League one now. Pangoro with some bulk in the back here. Pangoro, Clodsire, and something. Pangoro, Clodsire, and they're saying like another, well, no, that'd be double E to Fairy. I'll figure it out. Anyways, just going through my Why did you go through your logistics on a video? Because once we do 15 minutes of battles, you guys get how the team works. Also, I need to figure out. Yeah, no. I think with Great League back, I actually did play. I didn't play a ton. I played a couple sets to be able to have these battles, but I actually have not played a ton yet since Great League came back, which is, you know, it is what it is. It's my camera legs. Okay. And I think I'm going to lose this matchup too. Anyways, that is it. Yeah, so again, let me know who other content creators you want me to reach out to eventually. Any other content you want to see on this? Because again, I've kind of already taken one video off on the weekend. I'll do a bunch of these teams, especially for Great League and Great League Remix, and then adding the event coverage, which are easy videos to do and I think adds sort of something. And then these interviews. I'm just trying to think of like other videos to do that will be like useful to you and like create interest. Anyways, that's enough talking. Thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one.